Well, we tried this reconfiguration of our shelves, and it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. We were so hopeful, but I guess we could have. I mean, I think when we were measuring, we were thinking that maybe they'd be like the other shelves where we can get another. It seems like we can get another row because this one has. One has the max, right?
We thought that the bottom and the top were the same width, and they're not. This one's a couple inches taller, so you can get 4, but this one's not, so you can only get 3.
So it looks like we came pretty close, but it's just not going to work.
This would go here,
and then enough space.
Unless you want to like stack them.
It would still fit that little Criterion truck, though.
That's true.
But if the little Criterion truck took its own little shelf, right? But I don't think we have space for that.
Or like, I guess you could technically like put movies like this.
You could put movies like that, but
if
then
you
we don't
wanted
want
to,
that.
but
Yeah, it's not really worth it. So anyway, this I guess as it turns out, the shelf is really maxed out. So we'll have to. Well, maybe we're looking at another Criterion shelf. We were thinking of maybe doing a TV shelf too, right? So
we can still take all the DVDs out and put them on the bottom, and it'll make some room. Some of these will move up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we do. Yeah, we might still do some reconfiguration on the shelf. We'll see what happens, but that's the update on the Criterion shelf. So we were going to put all the DVDs up here, but then I decided to maybe put those near the bottom of the shelf. So all the DVDs now are down here, which will be in spine number order, and we moved some other films from the shelf. But the reason for that is to keep this mostly Blu-rays, and then the ones near the bottom will be probably upgraded at some point. So I thought, rather than have them at the top of the shelf, we'll just have them at the bottom. I think we'll get a little bit more space, maybe not that much, just because these are all Blu-rays here. But we're making some progress on this, and you'll see the full. We're going to do a full collection video for 2025 for the Criterion collection. So we'll go through every one of the titles, and you'll see everything in spine number order still, except for the little section that will be down at the very bottom with the Eclipse sets that will just be DVDs. And then again, those will probably be upgraded or maybe on their way out. So,
but those are in spine number order.
Those will be in spine number
just
order.
Within the DVD section.
Within the little DVD section that's down here, which we're still making some space for. But I thought for the vlog, we'll show you this. We're not sure when we're going to do our 2025 collection video, but this is just a little behind the scenes for that video. This is the newly configured shelf. These are all Blu-rays now up at the top, again in spine number order. We'll be doing a collection video on it, as I mentioned before, but we've moved all of the DVDs down to the bottom of the shelf to create a little bit of extra room there. So all the DVDs, which will be in spine number order at the bottom, will remain there. And then I've got some more space now for new releases and more Blu-rays here, or 4Ks. So we're pretty happy with this for right now. It didn't work out exactly the way we wanted, but at least I've got a little bit more space for 2025 sales. And it does look a lot more uniform, I think, even with the DVDs removed, now that these are all Blu-rays or 4K. So pretty happy with it. And again, there'll be a special video on it.
It's very cold today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of birds on the lake. It's probably iced over again, right?
It seems like it. It's pretty close. Yeah. So now that we're done with the Criterion shelf, we're thinking about this area over here, and you had a really good idea to maybe put all the Kinos together in one shelf section. So maybe we would start on this area over here.
Yeah, we might start with this shelf here. And because the bottom here, these 3 shelves, these 3 rows will become 4.
Yeah.
So the middle 3. So let's see if I can do this. So
we basically make this shelf unit, or all the shelf units look like the Criterion one.
Yeah,
right?
so this one here would be for DVDs. This one and this one would be for Blu-rays, and there'll be a third Blu-ray shelf in here, and then the rest of these will be DVD size as well.
Yeah, I think this is a good one to start with too, because I've got some Christmas movies you can see stacked up on the top there, so we can expand that a little bit too if we decide to keep them up there.
Right, or they can potentially go over to
side.
this, because this shelf here is all horror right here, and then so there's room maybe down here for some of them, but I'm not sure.
So I think that's maybe what we'll start with this week. I don't know if we'll do that today, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving.
Okay, so what we decided to do is we're going to move all of our holiday movies to another shelf, and then we're going to move the Warner Archive.
Which is this?
We're going to move this Warner Archive row up
here, and then all of these.
And we're going to take all of those.
Are going to go over there.
Over there, and then we thought we could fit the Kino here too, right?
And then I think all the Kino is going to go like up here and here, and then these are going to go down.
Yeah.
And then all of those and that are going to go up there.
Yeah, this little stack we have down here too. I was thinking I have some miscellaneous film noir too that I could maybe, if we have some extra spots, we can put near the Kinos, because I've got a Humphrey Bogart set and I've got some other things that are not Warner Archive or Kino, but maybe could fit there. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to continue to track some progress here, and we'll show you the completed shelf in the vlog. We wanted to show the difference between the shelves again, just as a review. So this section over here has 6 shelves, right? Six rows, basically, yeah. Right? And so we've just added another row here to make it 7.
Yeah.
And but you can see the difference right here too. As I back up, you can see that we're adding some more space here, and you can see also the difference is pretty glaring right there. To make some more space for additional movies and to organize a little bit more. Were you going to mention something else about it, or was that it?
No, I think that's it.
That was it, yeah.
So the top 3, like this shelf on the left, is going to stay the same. So the top 3 accommodate the DVDs, and then as you can see, we added in, when you add in the 4th row, you close a lot of the gaps. Like here, you can see like this versus this.
Yeah.
It just gets a lot tighter for the Blu-rays. So now we just have to get creative about which collections are mainly Blu-ray.
Yeah, and also to leave more space, because typically during the year, so we're doing this in January, I will pick up more Kino Lorber releases, more Warner Archive releases. Probably not as much Indicator this year, just because I think there's been a lot more U.S. releases of movies that are, the region that I can play here on any Blu-ray or 4K player. Or they've been released on Criterion or whatever the case may be. So I'm probably hold off on some Indicator releases for right now, and we'll be, purchasing and or upgrading more Kinos, more Warner Archive.
Do you think we're gonna do all of these shelves eventually?
We're gonna do all these shelves eventually, yeah. So we'll have some additional space. You can see the movies that are stacked on top there, ready to go in their section. Like, and I had to move some Alfred Hitchcock from the other shelf, which are right here now. So we've got a lot of work to do, but it's January. This is what we had planned to do anyway. I was going to mention too, I did a whole video on these particular shelves. So I'm going to link that video in the description below, so you can watch just the overview of the shelves and what kind of shelves we have, which I think are still available on Amazon. So I'll link that video in the description as well. So here's the end result for this shelf. We've got the Warner Archive up here, all across the top, which ends here with the DVD, and then we've got some Kino Lorber DVDs there on the DVD shelf, and then the rest of it, as we move down, it's all Kino. So we were able to move all the Kino from this shelf over to here, which is really good, and there's a little bit of breathing room there too if I want to get some more Warner Archive. And then we moved all the imprint, so that now all the imprint from the other shelf is over here. These are all in spine number order also. We've got indicator films that may move to this other shelf. We're not sure if we're going to do any more work on the shelves today, but this is they may go over there or not. And then we got some Vinegar Syndrome down here. And then we got some random releases down at the bottom with some steelbooks and some TV shows. Those may move to another shelf altogether so that I have some room to grow on this shelf for Warner Archive and Kino. So that's where we are right now. We're going to work on this one next. We don't know if we're going to get to this today. You can see also we've got some things on the floor here stacked, our holiday movies.
Yeah.
There's a little film noir section there too that we're going to maybe incorporate here. So anyway, I think we got a good start though so far.
Yeah, I mean, now I can see all of the superhero movies at the top, except for the one, are all Blu-rays, so those can go somewhere else.
Those can go somewhere else, right?
Into, like, the bottom
or we can maybe
three.
put those in maybe like an act, because we were thinking about maybe redoing this so the horror section is further down and the holiday section is up at the top, and maybe we move some superhero movies at the top, or I don't know, we'll see what we do. Yeah, we'll
it's
see
just they're just puzzle pieces because the Blu-rays fit special.
Yeah,
so since that collection is like 99% Blu-ray, it might be better to put it in the bottom section.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Just like
You're right.
all the arrows are all Blu-ray.
Yeah. So that's where we are for today, and we'll continue to provide some updates here. This is taking a little bit of time, but I'm really happy with this section here, and it gives me some room to grow. So I'm excited about that. While we were working on the shelves today, it really started to snow outside. I don't think we were expecting that much of a storm today, but it's really picked up. So it's been snowing kind of steadily all day, but now this is a little bit stronger than we saw earlier today. So
yeah, I'm glad we went out earlier.
I'm glad we went out earlier too. Yeah, because I mean, who knows? It's very cold outside, of course, but
I wonder if this is the edge of that winter storm.
maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
I
but
just
it's
looked
really...
at the map and it said that we weren't supposed to get any, but I also looked at the weather on my phone and it said it wasn't going to snow until Thursday, and this is
It's
not
really
Thursday.
coming down. Yeah. And just like that, we have more spaces in our shelves. We were working last night, and we got a lot more spaces in the shelves now. Plus, things are more organized. We alphabetized, if you go over to this area right here, we alphabetized all of the holiday films, which is kind of fun. I think that's the first time I have some alphabetized. Well, I guess the Warner Archive and Kino Lorber sections are alphabetized, but lots of extra space, right?
Yeah. Yeah, look at all those empty
I know, look at the empty
shelves.
spots. So the shelf update for today, we decided to keep these director sections and not really do anything with them. This is the Steven Spielberg section. Then I've got some Sidney Lumet over here. There's other films mixed in here too. They're not all Sidney Lumet, but most of these are Sidney Lumet. Then I've got a Star Trek section, which I'm not going to be touching for right now. And then if I move down a little bit, this is some Francis Ford Coppola and Brian De Palma and other films here. So these are, again, a little bit mixed up. I might alphabetize these. Got some Robert Altman films, David Lynch stuff, Jim Jarmusch, and mostly Paul Thomas Anderson in this area. And then you've got a whole Scorsese section here. And below that, I have a full Quentin Tarantino, all the Quentin Tarantino films here, I believe. A couple of editions of Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown and Pulp Fiction. So those are all those films. And then we just move into other random films, which I might alphabetize at some point. So that's the shelf update, at least this part of the shelf update for today. There may be more.
None of this changed either.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So the horror section we're going to leave on its own too. So, and I have a full horror collection video up on the channel. I'll link that video in the description below also, so you can watch that if you want. But these aren't going to change. But anyway, we've got some spaces to fill here, some sorting to do, and we'll continue to provide some updates on the vlog. Yeah, still snow coming down. It's so
cold. It's a little tiny
it's so
snow.
cold, little. But then it's kind of accumulating too, right? So
I mean, I think so. Yeah, the driveway is covered again.
yeah. You can tell because you can't see the road through the trees there too, right?
Yeah, it just looks like this big cloud.
Yeah. And then there's more snow over here too. So.
I guess I can see, if you look like close to the window, you can see the snow. Like coming down.
Let's see, zoom in a little. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the flakes got a little bigger. Oh yeah, now it's really bad.
Yeah.
Currently,
So we're on our way to the grocery store. We've been spending most of the week redoing the shelves, so we haven't really done too much vlog content other than the snowstorms. But I will say that the cold weather and the snow.
yeah.
But for the most part, I'm watching Barney Miller and Columbo right now. I'm going back to some comfort shows, so that's. What I was saying, but
You're watching Columbo and Barney Miller.
Yeah, I'm watching Columbo. I started Columbo over again, and I'm really enjoying this rewatch of it. I guess I could watch it all the time. It's just a comfort show for me. I really enjoy it. It's very enjoyable to watch in the evening. I love seeing Peter Falk. I love how they produce the show. I love seeing. I've said this before. I love seeing scenes in Columbo where it seems like they could have cut out that part of the show, right? You've even seen that too, right? There's these long scenes where you don't even need the footage, but it's so wonderful to see, and I wouldn't want the show without that. It's so good. And we watched a couple episodes of Barney Miller. We're trying to get involved in some movies. We're also kind of reevaluating our streaming services, right?
Yeah, we have AMC Plus and Paramount Plus, and I think we're going to cancel both of them.
Right.
So we're trying to decide like which shows on those services we want to watch, or if we want to keep watching them, or if we just want to wait. We also tried Apple TV Plus for the free weekend, so we're kind of deciding about that. So we haven't really been working on any one specific show.
Yeah, and unfortunately we didn't really like Silo. I mean, I'm sure we'll go back to it to give it another try, but it seemed like after the second episode we didn't really like it. We tried Shrinking also. That was an interesting show. We liked the first episode, and then when we watched the second episode it seemed very formulaic. I'm sure it'll get better, so we'll give it another chance. But for now, we canceled it, and then I think Paramount Plus we've also, we've already canceled that too. So
yeah.
So that's our little update for today. It's so cold here, and we're just hibernating a little bit and catching up on some comfort shows.
Yeah.
Just taking a quick look at the Criterion channel, what's on in January. And so they have this, these are the features up here: surveillance cinema. And they've got The Conversation, which is really good, The Truman Show, which I've seen, Minority Report, A Scanner Darkly, Gattaca, and more. So we'll drill into that one a little bit and see what's in here. I love how they have they always have a little teaser trailer up there, which is cool to see. So there's The Truman Show, Minority Report, I've seen those. Gattaca, haven't seen that one. The Lives of Others, I think I probably saw that years ago. Deja Vu. Conversation, of course. Francis Ford Coppola. I've got some Brian De Palma with Body Double. And let's see, THX, that's an early George Lucas film with Robert Duvall, which is great. Sliver. The Anderson Tapes, what a great movie, a great Sidney Lumet film, The Anderson Tapes. The End of Violence, A Scanner Darkly, Modern Times, Charlie Chaplin, Camera Buff, Death Watch, Demon Lover. So those are the ones that are in Surveillance Cinema. A lot of good features on the channel this month too. And we have Nicole Kidman profile here. Eyes Wide Shut, To Die For, The Stepford Wives, Birth and the Hours, and more. So we'll take a look at this one too. And Dead Calm, which I haven't seen in a long time, so I might watch that one. To Die For, that's still on my Criterion wish list. The Portrait of a Lady, Eyes Wide Shut, the last Stanley Kubrick film. The Hours, which I've seen, is really good. Birth, I haven't seen that one. The Stepford Wives, Margot at the Wedding, and The Paperboy. So looks pretty good. And then we've got the Deja Vu with Memento, Donnie Darko, Deja Vu, Mulholland Drive. Looks pretty good. And then Cast Against Type. That looks pretty interesting. Heroes as Villains. You have A Face in the Crowd, The Boys from Brazil, Don't Bother to Knock, Once Upon a Time in the West. What a great film. The Boston Strangler, and more. And let's see what else we have in this. We have Don't Bother to Knock, The Boston Strangler. I haven't seen those. A Face in the Crowd, that's a great film. Once Upon a Time in the West, one of the great Sergio Leone movies. The Killers, Red River, that's a great movie. Howard Hawks film, The Boys from Brazil. Angel Face, Night Must Fall, In Name Only, I haven't seen some of these. And The Velvet Touch. And let's see, Three by Cameron Crowe, Say Anything, Singles, and Almost Famous. Great films. I love Singles. I love the soundtrack for Singles, but Almost Famous is great too. And we have Love in Disguise, The Lady Eve, Love Me Tonight, The Major and the Minor, Midnight, and more. The Lady Eve, of course, a classic. These are all classics, of course, too. Desire, Love Me Tonight, Monte Carlo. This Is the Night, 30-Day Princess. Princess Comes to Cry. I haven't seen a lot of these, so this will be interesting to see. Midnight, The Flame of New Orleans, The Major and the Minor, French, but I haven't seen any of those. So it's great when there's some older films on the channel to watch that I haven't seen before. So, and then The Craft of Acting, where there's an interview with Ethan Hawke, and I think that's it for, oh no, they have David Bowie Changes, a lot of David Bowie films. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, The Man Who Fell to Earth, Basquiat, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. I think he's got a small part in that. And let's see what else. Look at that great picture of David Bowie. Man Who Fell to Earth, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, The Linguini Incident, haven't seen that. Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, Basquiat. So those are the ones that are in that one. And I haven't seen any of this. I guess that's just the feature. I know this just came out in Criterion. You can, and that's it. And then, of course, the Criterion 24/7 channel. Jesse and I were just watching the movie Pygmalion, the original Pygmalion today, which is out of print, unfortunately. Sometimes I'll see a film on the channel, which I would love to get in physical media, but it's out of print. So that's what's on the Criterion channel in January. So we're going to enjoy some of these films, hopefully.